What happens when the most economical pressure fighter of this era meets the most adaptive switch hitter alive? Saul Canelo Álvarez versus Terence Crawford is on. Tonight, I would be breaking down every single angle with regards to this particular fight, be it the weight, the ring generalship, or the geography of the ring, the traps that would be set by each boxer, the potential politics at the end of this particular fight. This is a hot meal that is being prepared and would be ready to be served for you by way of prediction at the end of the video. So please, if you have not subscribed, I entreat you to subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, express your views in the comment section, and share this particular video with anyone who enjoys boxing. Now, this particular fight would be at the super middleweight division, that is 168. Both boxers would be in 10-ounce gloves, and the fight is at Las Vegas. It is going to be a 12-round of undisputed world championship battle, where the winner would be crowned as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter of the month September 2025. Canelo Álvarez enters the ring as the defending champion, whilst Terence Crawford would go into this ring as 2-division undisputed champion and 4-division world champion. There is no catch weight and there is no rehydration clause as at the time of recording of this video. This means that there is a lot at stake for Terence Crawford, and he is putting a lot on the line with regards to this particular fight. Now let's take a look at the tail of the tape for both fighters, starting with the champion Saul Canelo Álvarez, who is 35 years of age. He is 5'7.5". Then he has a reach of 70.5 inches. He is an orthodox fighter and he is the natural 168 pounder. His recent wins has been over Jaime Munguia and William Carl, which was via unanimous decision. Whilst Terence Crawford is the older man of the two, he is 37 years old. He has a height of 5'8". He has an interesting reach advantage of 74 inches. He is also a switch hitter. Then his recent dominance wins has been over Errol the True Spence Jr., which he won via TKO. Then Israel the Dream Madrimov, which he won via unanimous decision when he made his debut at the 154 division. Saul Canelo Álvarez, looking at the tail of the tape, would have the advantage with regards to the leverage and being accustomed to the weight as in body mass, etc. Whilst Terence Crawford will have the switch and the reach advantage, but he would be moving two weight classes up. Would he be able to carry all those his positive attributes? I'll be telling you all that in this episode, so continue to stay tuned. Now, with regards to Canelo Álvarez, here Canelo has evolved to a long volume puncher, but he is very accurate and selective with his punches with regards to his counter punching ability, where he selects every single shot, be it his uppercut, the left hook, upstairs or downstairs, or a jab to the chest. Canelo Álvarez has evolved, like I said, and he is no longer the volume puncher where in his young age at 147, the welterweight, where he was throwing a lot of punches. Saul Canelo Álvarez does no longer has that and has become a consecutive output fight. Whilst Terence Crawford has destroyed the likes of Errol the True Spence Jr. at 147, be it the welterweight division, when he moved up to the 154 division against Israel Madrimov with his herky-jerky style, that was sort of a problem for Crawford, where he did not put up a dominant performance, and that was the first time he had gone the distance ever since moving up to the welterweight division. Remember, Terence Crawford, since making his welterweight debut against Jeff Horn, has since then knocked out every welterweight he has faced. But moving up, there is an argument that Terence Crawford could not carry his weight to the 154 division. And besides that, he was not that free-flowing Bud Crawford we saw against Israel Madrimov. Now, talking about the geography, the ring generalship of this particular fight, it would be very, very interesting because Saul Canelo Álvarez these days likes to cut off the ring and put himself and his opponents in a position where they would be easier to hit. Preferably, he pins them onto the ropes or pins them into the corner and uses his feint and footworks to land so many smashing body shots, especially to the ribcage, to the arm, in order to get the guard down in the later round. While Terence Crawford's A game in this particular fight would be to fight mid-range and keep the fight in the center of the ring, and that would be to a very great benefit to Terence Crawford because that would encourage Canelo to throw more and not be more economical with his output. It will force Canelo to throw a lot of punches, where Terence Crawford can easily control the jab of Canelo, especially fighting from a southpaw position and pull counter him and exit with a 45 degrees angle that would be created between the southpaw and the orthodox fighter. So that is how both fighters, I think, would approach this particular fight. With the weapons available to both fighters is very, very enormous. Saul Canelo Álvarez has the left hook to the body and to the head, and that is very, very interesting, and he often throws that after he lands an uppercut, a right uppercut. And jabs to the chest, this would be very, very vital because it will stop Terence in his coming forward, and adding the feints to it would be a plus for Canelo Álvarez. The counter right uppercut mostly lands on opponents and it gets them wary. So that is one of the two in which Canelo would use. But now the Canelo tool is the constant pressure where he marches forward in order to pin down his opponent. Whilst his defense, he uses his high guard, and a friend asked me recently that will Terence Crawford have enough power in order to split the guard of Saul Canelo Álvarez? But Saul Canelo Álvarez has fantastic head movement, which is an envy for many, though he doesn't move much of his head these days like he did against Gennady Golovkin and Jacob the Miracle Man. I think that he still has that in his tool. Whilst for Terence Crawford, he has a very, very interesting southpaw jab which can unlock every padlock. With his pull counter, with his left hook and check left hook, I think that would be a problem for Saul Canelo Álvarez. And he's switching stance in order for Saul Canelo Álvarez to keep second guessing would also be a great advantage for Terence Crawford. And the last and the most efficient attribute of Terence Crawford is the way he's able to lay traps for his opponent. Yes, Terence Crawford is a man who set traps for his opponent, and I think that he would be doing that against Saul Canelo Álvarez. But for his defense, he uses his eye and his feet and moves out of the way when he is in range, and also sometimes uses the high guard as a way of defense. And now to the most question in which people have been asking. Let's talk about the chin. Let's talk about the power. Let's talk about the gas tank of both fighters. At 168, the fixes of both fighters favor Saul Canelo Álvarez. He is denser at the core, shorter, and has the impact power and has a proven chin, which he has even moved up to 175 and hasn't gotten stopped. He has been Though he lost to the likes of Dimitri Bivol, those are big guys, and those guys punch harder than Terence Crawford naturally. And not being able to be knocked out by those guys makes us believe that he has a very, very solid chin and hasn't been knocked down as a pro in his career. Whilst Terence Crawford would have a lot of questions. Terence Crawford was wobbled by this Cuban boxer, I've forgotten the name right now as I'm recording. But ever since then, he has proven to himself that he is a very formidable fighter. But Terence Crawford started his career at 135 and moving to 168. That is a huge gap. And now, would he be able to transfer all his attributes? That is the timing, the speed. Would he be able to transfer that, especially fighting in a 10-ounce gloves, unlike the 8-ounce gloves he is used to? Would Terence Crawford be able to carry his power to the next two divisions? Those are a lot of questions that Terence Crawford would be answering in this particular fight. But what are the keys to victory for these two extraordinary pugilists that are going to put their lives on the line for our entertainment? 5 keys to victories for Saul Canelo Álvarez. He should jab Crawford to the chest so that Crawford is hesitant to come forward. He should cut off his 45-degree angle with his lead foot and right uppercut anytime Terence Crawford tries to exit. And now he should increase his volume of work. Saul Canelo Álvarez output has reduced. In this particular fight, he needs to be throwing about 40 to 50 punches per every round and not like the 20 and the 18s he has been doing in recent times. And now Canelo must also learn to disguise his body shot, and that would be his go-to money in this particular fight, because that would slow Terence Crawford down and make him being able to take him out. And Saul Canelo Álvarez, in as much as he is the most dominant fighter, he shouldn't get too greedy, because Terence is a very smart individual. He should fight tactically, stay disciplined throughout the course of the fight until he gets the victory after the 12th round. Now, talking about the 5 keys to victory for Terence Crawford, he should own the ring. He should make the ring his playbook. The ring is his stage and he should command it. He should use every part of the ring and not be pinned to the corner or to the ropes. He should be very mobile and use the center of the ring, and that Canelo Álvarez is unable to keep up with the pace these days. Though Canelo is the younger fighter, he has a lot of miles on his clock. And 2, he should not be greedy. He shouldn't stay in the pocket and throw more than 3 combinations. If he tries to throw more than 3 combinations, it would make him stationary, and Canelo can land any shot that would put him down. Now, the third point I'm going to say is that Crawford must throw a lot of preemptive hooks that would keep Saul Canelo Álvarez resetting, and that by the time he realized, the fight would be slipping out of his hand, and that would get Saul to be desperate. Now, another thing that Crawford must do is that make Canelo overreach. And when Canelo overreach, he must pull and make sure he lands the counter clean on Canelo, because it would be difficult for Crawford to knock out Canelo. But if he's able to land constantly, he can secure a cut that may lead to a very good technical knockout on his behalf. And 3, he must be well prepared for this particular fight and have the 5, and be able to carry himself in the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th round, because at that stages the pace of the fights gets higher. Now to the politics of it. The ring size, I think that they should use 24 feet by 24. That would be a great advantage to Terence Crawford. Anything smaller than 24 would be to the detriment of Terence Crawford. And now the optics to the judges. Saul Canelo Álvarez would be coming into this particular fight as favorite, and they would be looking forward to him beating Terence Crawford. Anytime someone has a close fight with Saul Canelo Álvarez, besides he also being the undisputed champion, you should know very well that the decision would be going to Canelo Álvarez. Another thing that would be playing a role in this particular fight is that the age and the miles on the clock of both fighters. Age is not on the side of Terence Crawford, 37, 38 years, but in recent times, Terence Crawford has not fought so many opponents. He has been fighting once a year. That means that he hasn't incurred a lot of wear and tear. Also meaning that he hasn't been sharper, as in sharper in the squared circle. Whilst on the other hand, Canelo Álvarez has a total of about 65 fights. And he is younger, 35 years, but there are so many miles on the clock. The damages all may happen in the ring, but where the damage happens the most, in which we don't see, is the training camp. That is the wear and tear, the toll, the preparation for a fight has on the body. So Canelo would be coming into this particular fight with miles disadvantage because his clock has been working since he was a teenager. Now, when Crawford stays out southpaw and be disciplined, it would be a very difficult fight for Canelo Álvarez. I believe that this fight can go either way. I am not discounting any attributes of Terence Crawford. Neither am I going to discount any attributes of the ability of Saul Canelo Álvarez. These are two proven elite boxers who are going to make history. And I think that history would be made come Saturday, 13th September. But when it comes to prediction, I have two things that are running through my head and through my mind. I have never picked against Terence Crawford in my life. I have always stated that Terence Crawford is one of the great fighters we have had in this modern era since the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Money Mayweather. Terence Crawford have lived up to expectation. He hasn't gotten the big fights, but any fight you put him in, he has delivered. Whilst Canelo Álvarez is a proven 168, he has beaten the likes of Billy Joe Saunders. He has also beaten the likes of Caleb Plant. He has also beaten the likes of Jamel Charlo. So he is a proven 168 pounder. Now, with Terence Crawford having a lot of questions to answer, I think that it is only fair that Saul Canelo Álvarez is the favorite to win this particular fight. For the first time, I am picking against Terence Crawford. I think that Saul Canelo Álvarez would win this particular fight. But if Terence Crawford is able to go all 12 rounds in this particular fight, I think he would have the technical or the victory. He would be regarded as the people's champion if he is able to go all 12 rounds, because the likes of Caleb Plant, who are also naturally bigger guys, could not go all 12 rounds with Saul Canelo Álvarez, the likes of Billy Joe Saunders. So I think that Canelo Álvarez would emerge victorious in this particular fight by all the attributes, and he being the more proven fighter at this particular weight division. If it happens to go all 12 rounds, I think that it would be a close decision, 115, 113 in favor of Canelo Álvarez. But Terence Crawford can win this fight technically by a technical KO through a cut in this particular fight. So I'm going for a Canelo Álvarez logical win, but hoping Terence Crawford is able to win this fight
via landing a shot that would cut Saul Canelo Álvarez, because I still have much love for Bud Crawford. So that is my take on this particular fight. Let me know yours in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, express your views in the comment section like I said, and share this video with anyone who loves boxing. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more objective analysis on boxing. Au revoir. Remember, your greatness has no limits.